I'll try not to swear. Oh, this goes so. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the 2019 Betfred Super League Awards. I got to say a big hello to all the fans watching on the Betfred social media platforms, and also all your rugby league fans watching on the Our League app. Now, this whole evening is about celebrating the good and the great of the 2019 Super League season, and it culminates next Saturday at Old Trafford, which is just across the water here. We're in the Lowry Museum right now. It's going to be a fantastic evening. It's very different. The way traditionally this evening has gone has been quite a very traditional, stuffy black tie do, which is why I'm dressed in a black tie do. But this is going to be a lot more rock and roll. And what I got to say again, it's all about this trophy. And actually, if we come around here, we can see. Just have a look down there if you could still see it. Captain R. Paul. That was before I changed my name to Robbie Hunterpool. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a former Super League player, and I was lucky enough to lift this trophy at Old Trafford a number of times. You've got me for the next half an hour. I'll apologise in advance, especially if I do swear as well. But as you can see, I've got this little white wristband on, and that basically says I'm allowed to drink whatever I want, and it's all on the house. The things we do for talking on camera. Doesn't sound too bad, does it? And actually, if you do like a bet, I think there's a pool going on at the moment, whether or not I will do the haka with my top off, because I'm from New Zealand, and I'm of Māori descent as well, whether I'll do the haka with my top off before 11 o'clock this evening. I'm only joking. You can't just do the haka. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk around this staging area for the VIPs. We want to try and catch up with a few of the faces, both past and present, and see if we can also catch up with some of the nominees. And just as I say that, the Master of Ceremonies is trying to get everybody in. I hope they don't do that, because if he does that, we're going to have to do our interviews inside the hall. Actually, here's one of me old buddies just down here. Here's a couple of me old buddies just down here. Guys, watch your language. We're live on all the Betfred social media channels and our league app. I've got with me the boys that I've grown up playing with. Carl Fitzpatrick, now CEO at Warrington. Carl, how are you feeling after the season?
To be honest, quite disappointed on our Super League campaign. Obviously, it's a fantastic story to win the Challenge Cup. Our journey to the Challenge Cup was incredible. The underdogs, fantastic story, but overall our Super League season ended in disappointment.
And I also have with me Luke Robinson, former England and Great Britain international. Luke, you obviously, like me, didn't get the memo about it not being a black tie do, or like me, you didn't open your tickets. I left my tickets at home anyway.
Always dress up, mate. You're always better off dressing up, not down.
It did say dress to impress, didn't it, boys?
It did, mate, and we are, cause Robbie.
So one of the assistant coaches for Huddersfield Giants. Look, a really tough season for you guys this year, but how was it just being able to get through that sweaty period at the back end of the season?
Yeah, look, it's very difficult back end of the year. You never want to be down there. You want to be challenging in the top 5 and challenging for things. The one positive I think we can take out of is the youth that we've bled through this year. You know, we've had about 6, 7, 8 lads come through the academy, and hopefully it's going to bode well in the years to come. Hopefully.
And what time are the boys back in for pre-season training?
They are back in next week.
Next week. They're taking it seriously for 2020. Other Huddersfield Giants. Look, on that on the season. Obviously, great run in the Challenge Cup, but you've got to be looking for 2020 to try and get some, silverware from the Super League.
Yeah, do you mean the opposition fans always say it's always over here? I absolutely hate that slogan, to be honest with you. I can't stand it. And at Warrington Wolves, we expect to be challenging and winning things. It's simple as that. We've brought in Gareth Widdop next year to complement Blake Costin, and in my opinion, we've probably got to be the best half-back combination in World Rugby League.
There you have it. There you have it from the two guys that know. Look, I'm going to let you guys get on, have a drink, catch up, and let's see if we can get anybody else, eh? Any other victims, that is, walking around here. So many friendly faces as well. And look, I know that I've got, affectionately, another 25 minutes to have a run at this. So what makes up this crowd is some of the movers and shakers in the world of rugby league. We're talking the decision makers from Super League clubs. Obviously, Carl Fitzpatrick, an ex-Super League player, as well as Irish international, now plying his trade as a CEO. So again, a mover and shaker in the sport. And we've got loads of them all over the place as well. But I'm sure you want to hear from the players or ex-players themselves. So come with me. Keep following me, Katie. So you can't see her, but Katie's holding the camera as we speak right now. Evening, gentlemen. Oh, you don't want to speak to me. Oh, I'm all very good. You're on camera, boys. Say hello. Let me grab this guy here. Keith Senior. Keith Senior, former Super League winner. And he now is one of the ambassadors and one of the members of staff that works at Rugby League Cares, also assistant coach at Sheffield Eagles. Keith, he's also on the Steve Prescott Man of Steel selection panel with me. So we got there in the end. And this is the question one I wanted to ask, Keith. Keith, how's the process for selecting Man of Steel gone for you this year?
Yeah, it's been really good. It's been interesting. You start scrutinising it a little bit more rather than watching the game as a fan and as a spectator. You've been scrutinising people's individual performances, and it's been great to do that. And also with the stats and seeing the bigger picture, and it's been refreshing. And it's invigorated me a little bit as well as that as well. So it's been really good, and it's opened my eyes a little bit to some of the little things that you don't quite notice when you're just watching as a fan.
So if you're new to the world of rugby league, because we have, this is also going out on the Betfred social media platforms as well as our league app. If you're new, they chose a different process to approach the Steve Prescott Man of Steel Awards this year. They chose 26 past players I like to think substantial note in the game. They're actually, but are still connected enough to understand the technicalities involved in the game. And obviously with there being 12 Super League teams, there's 6 games across every weekend. There was roughly about 26 players on the panel.
Yes.
Which meant that we could, throughout the 26 of us, we could pretty much get to the 6 games. That process, how many games did you estimate you saw this year?
For the panel, I probably did maybe 15. And that's it. And that's the beauty of it, is the fact that my opinion might be totally different to your opinion. We've been put on the panel because we're regarded highly in the game, and we've studied the game, we understand the game. But my opinion might be totally different to your opinion. So the way the voting system goes, it's been great, and that's what's freshened it up a little bit. I think it's down to people that have played the game, been through it all, and it's refreshed it a little bit. I think
one of the points that Keith's making there is there was an argument saying, because they were distributing. So the old system was all the players would choose opposition players to be awarded. You could choose anyone you wanted, but you couldn't choose anyone from your own team. And there was an argument that quite a few of the players were actually taking the Michael, could we say? Is that the right way of saying it? So, do you think
I'll
that
put my hand up and say that yes, every ball player that played when I played got a nomination.
every ball player got a nomination? Do you think that this is the right way of going about business because of the connection that those players have, and every person that I've spoken to took it very seriously?
Definitely, and because it is such a prestigious event, and that was the thing, you worry a little bit about it. Oh, have I made the right choice? Have I done my due diligence on it? And that's why you end up analysing, studying, watching the game once, watching the game twice, reviewing the stats, and really taking it seriously because it's such an important task to be had. So you do make sure that you do your due diligence on the event.
So I've got to ask this question. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who do you think should go up and select the Man of Steel award this evening, the Steve Prescott Man of Steel?
Who will win it?
Who will win it?
I think Jackson Hastings will win it tonight. Downright, I know where the voting was, where it was, and watching. I've done quite a few Salford games, and to be honest, he's killed it this year, and I think he's shown a lot of quality out there. So Jackson Hastings, I think he will win Man of Steel, and I think they'll also get the Coach of the Year as well.
Now, just to paint the picture properly and just let everybody know that actually, even though we're on the panel, once it got to their close time, I think about a month and a half ago, we don't know the scores either. So Keith's not giving anything away here. He doesn't know. He's not been given any insight to know who's going to pick up the selection. That's who you're just thinking.
That was shown to the public. Everybody saw the public vote and the scoring system, and they saw it go. For the last few weeks, because Salford have been on fire. So I think most of the games he would have played in, he would have got man of the match. So I think he would have run away with it a little bit.
Okay, there you go. Thank you very much, Keith. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Cheers.
So there you have it. One of the legends of the modern game of rugby league. So you'd call it one of the legends of the Super League. Countless numbers of success, Challenge Cup, as well as Super League success as well. And he's got the rings and the trophies to prove it. Into Great Britain International and England International. The guy knows his stuff. Jerry, actually, yeah. Let's try and get this guy. We've got one of the England internationals here, Jermaine McGilvery. Jermaine, look, season's over. Probably not the season that Huddersfield Giants wanted to have. But how are you guys setting up for 2020?
Yeah, it was a disappointing season for us. What wasn't the greatest, but we're regrouping now. We're back in the pre-season a week on Monday, so we're coming in early, a lot earlier than anyone else. We need to get things right. We need to, fix a few things up because we can't have a season like we did last year.
So can you put your finger on it? What was it about 2019 that you got great players, a good click together, guys that had been around each other for a long time, and you finished 2018 on a real high. So what was wrong with 2019? Can you put your finger on it?
I think it's a number of things. I think fitness. I don't think we were the fittest. There were a lot of injuries in the team as well. So there's a lot of inconsistencies within the team, off the field and on the field as well. But we need a really strong start next year. So that starts in the pre-season. And that's a massive reason why we've come in early, get everyone fit, get everyone sharp. We could start the season running. Instead of last year, I think was 0-5. We started off, which is not good enough. But there's some positives. I think we lost 3 or 4 games by 1 point, and I think in total we lost six games by 2 points or less. So if it was fit enough or strong enough to get them points, we could have finished in the playoff position. So that's what we'll be aiming for next year. Try finishing in that top 5. We'll look at Salford this year. I wouldn't say they've got many superstars in the team, but as a collective, they're a great group and a great bunch. And look what they've achieved this year.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the evening. It's going to be a good one. All right, there you have it from England International, Jermaine McGilvery. Now, let's see. I just saw the Salford coach walk past just a second ago. One of my New Zealand brethren's here. Wala Hodaki. Right, brother? Oh, Hongi, brother? Yeah. There we go. That's how traditional New Zealand Māoris meet each other, greet each other. Cheers, brother. I won't put you on the spot. Katie, we still going? Come on, let's keep working our way around. I think I saw Salford head coach Ian Watson just pass us a bit. I'll see if I can track him down. Probably trying to keep a low profile at this point in time. Robert, there we go. The man that's tasked with the responsibility of keeping this all going. Great idea, Robert. I love this event. Okay, now, who have we got here? which is the next victim I think we should get. See, this is what happens when you start walking around with a camera. Everybody starts diving for cover. Let me see if we've got any of our support team can drum us up some possible victims. We'll keep moving. So 2019, absolutely brilliant season. It's going to culminate in at Old Trafford, which is just across the water. This Saturday evening, it's going to be absolutely brilliant game. St Helens has been this entire season, have just set the entire season on fire. They made the Challenge Cup just to fall down against Carl Fitzpatrick's Warrington Wolves, but that was an epic match in its own right. They want to make things right by securing silverware across the way. But there's a team that's just been playing out of their skin in the back end of 2019, and that's Salford, really putting Wigan to the sword on Friday night at Wigan. So that's not an easy task to do. A team that's been there, done that, have got a lot of experience and know how to play in those massive games. So we're going to be back with you guys in a couple of minutes, so stick with us and you'll hear from us soon. And welcome back to the 2019 Betfred Super League Awards, and a welcome also to all of you in the Betfred social media platforms and the Our League app. Now, I caught up with one of the other legends of our game, Super League Zone, former Wigan legend, Leeds Rhinos legend, Barry McDermott. Barry, also part of the Steve Prescott Man of Steel selection panel. Barry, how's the process been for you, and what do you think about this event?
Well, the process of the Man of Steel, I think, we're guilty sometimes in our sport of ditching things too early. We try, it doesn't work, or we try it, it works, and we make a decision, then we biff it off. I've loved the process because it's what I do anyway. On a Monday morning, I will watch the other games that have been played over Super League because of the job that I've got on Sky. So it's not actually been that big of a deal, but I feel like I've got a bit of ownership. When the points are coming in and we don't know who's done what, but obviously I know if I've done a Salford Cast game, I know that those are my picks. But the event, you know, we were saying before we went back on air, I think it's freshened things up a little bit. You are the most overdressed man in the room, Robbie, but then again, you were always the loudest anyway, weren't you?
I can't disagree with you. I can't argue with you, Barry. I didn't get the memo. I didn't look at the tickets. Look, looking so dapper yourself. You know what I mean? Smart casual, looking to impress. Everything coordinated. Our style and our clothes have got to coordinate, don't they? Look, there's probably very few people in the world of rugby league that watch as many Super League matches as yourself. Who's impressed you this year?
Well, I think everybody's obviously looking at Jackson Hastings and saying that he has lifted Salford from where they were. And let's be fair, they were teetering on the bottom, sometimes dangerously close to falling out of Super League, £1 million game, etc. But he's elevated them. He's took them into a different stratosphere, along with, you know, a good mate of mine, Ian Watson. We both know Watto and how deeply he thinks about the game. There's two kindred spirits there that have managed to motivate, foster that team spirit and that unity that those great sides, that Bradford side that you consistently beat us, had.
And I remind him about it.
Had, and this Salford side have it. So for me, it's Jackson Hastings. But look, if Liam Watts were to get it as a front rower, I'd be pleased for him, because his performance.
They're always sticking up for each other, these donkeys.
We have to, don't we? But if he were to get it, I'd be delighted for him. Although he's got no socks on, I'm looking at him there. He's dressed well, but he's missed his socks out.
So he's been dressed by Harvey Nichols, who has sponsored all the nominees. Yeah. And I have to say that is the tightest pair of pants I've ever seen. Not only no socks, but because he's a big man with really tight pants on. Yeah. Look, fast forward, 5 days, cross the water, St. Helens. Can Salford come up with the biggest shock in the Super League era?
Of course they can. Whether I'm willing to put money on it or back them, I'd have to really think about it. And I'd have to have a look at the weather, because that always plays a part on an October grand final, whether it's raining or it's dry. Injuries, you know, we don't know how both teams, you know, St. Helens are an extra week in front, but we don't know how Salford have washed up after that momentous game against Wigan. And of course, you know, you just get that vibe, don't you? You get that feeling that one team fancies it and the other one doesn't. But I look back to last night, we did the Toronto versus Featherstone game. Featherstone had nothing to lose. Toronto had everything to lose, and for an hour that's how it panned out. Toronto gave it a real good crack, and eventually a bit of fitness, a bit of belief and a bit of class, really, if I'm honest, in the Toronto ranks, took them off and they took the victory. Remarkable game to watch. I hope we get the same on Saturday.
All right, thank you very much. There you go. There you have it. Barry McDermott, rugby league legend. There you go. Now, it looks like we've got Jackson Hastings. We've just been talking about. He's been on the tips of everybody's tongues. Very good, thank you, Jackson. Look, all the best of luck tonight. Let's talk about this playoff series. What a series it's been for the Salford City Reds.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable, really. It's been the story of a year to get written off and play against the big boys and sort of be the underdogs every week. And we've sort of relished that. It's what the history of the club's been sort of built on, the history of the place has been built on, and we've just found a way, mate. We've got a very good coaching staff. Watto's over there, chuffed with himself, look. But, you know, we've just got a team full of people that have been discarded, told they're not good enough, and we've sort of just come together with a sort of pack mentality, and we've played to the best of our abilities, and it's been good enough to date. So hopefully we can take that to the Theatre of Dreams and realise our dreams on Saturday night.
And how exciting is it, your first full season in the Super League, to be nominated for the Steve Prescott Man of Steel?
Yeah, it's an honour, mate. It's a privilege. Obviously, get your name tossed around during the year. It's a bit weird because you're trying to focus on playing, but the sort of day and age we live in, you can't avoid it with social media and that. So to be here tonight and to be one of the 5 nominees for the greatest honour in our game over here it's a massive achievement, obviously, and I'm pretty proud of myself. But I'm more proud of the fact that we get to go to Old Trafford, mate. It's honestly a dream come true that we get to run out there on Saturday night, and hopefully tonight goes well and then Saturday goes even better.
I'm sure it will. Look, just want the cameras to come down here and just have a quick look. You can see he's taking it very seriously. Now, back in my day, that would have been a bear. All the best of luck this weekend. Take care. And there you go. That guy is the one that's tipped to pick up the Steve Prescott Man of Steel award this evening. Now, I'm supposed to be grabbing people left, right, and centre. And actually, before he goes in, I'm just going to grab this guy, Ian Watson. Look, Ian, congratulations. Big win on Friday. Get to go to the Theatre of the Dreams. How are you feeling?
Yeah, no, excited. We're really looking forward to it as a group. We're looking forward to test ourselves against Saints, obviously after the games we've played against them and how well we've been playing over the last few months. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Come on, tell us, what's the secret? What's the secret sauce? What's it been? Look, what, 2-3 months ago, there was a risk that you may have fallen down into that relegation fight. But the opposite has happened. You guys have found yourself in the final. So what's the secret sauce?
It's just the continuity and kind of the commitment by the boys, really. We spoke, even early in the parts of the season, we spoke about building foundations so we could be successful at the back end of the year. And we knew if we bought into it and everyone lived by it, then we'd be successful. The boys just have bought into it over time, mate, and then they've just put out their performances on the field.
And is the pressure on St Helens?
Yeah, 100%. I think there's all them questions will come from the media this week about they've not won a big game, so that'll start to play on the mind, especially if we start really well. So we'll look to capitalise on that.
Here's another question. I guess it's on the tips of a lot of people's tongues. Obviously, St Helens had the week off. You guys played on Friday night. How did you guys pull through?
Yeah, no, really good. Yeah, the one thing I'm really interested in is our guys are really battle-hardened. They know what to expect and they know how they've been playing over the last few weeks and they know it works as well. So I'll expect St Helens middles not to be running through our middles like what they did to Wigan.
Awesome. All right, thank you very much for your time. All the best of luck. So Ian Watson there, he's up for 2019 Coach of the Year. You may be looking at the two winners there, both Jackson Hasten and Ian Watson. So great. They've come together. I think Barry Mack was saying that they're a marriage made in heaven. Okay, so who have we got here? So Steve, before you go in, can I just grab you? So we've got here the Warrington head coach, Steve Price. Steve, just a quick synopsis of your 2019 season.
Yeah, it was a special day, Wembley, wasn't it? The Challenge Cup had to take a special performance to beat St Helens, and yeah, that was a really memorable day for the club and the players. And a bit disappointing at the back end of the season, but yeah, it wasn't to be. But a lot of hard work to do in the pre-season, and looking forward to next year. But yeah, a special night tonight, and you know, worthy challenges next week, St Helens and Salford. It's going to be a cracking game.
Can I just say you look absolutely amazing as well. There's only a few of us that decided to go the whole hog, but you're looking very, very good, mate. All the very best of luck. Cheers. So there you have it. Another one of the nominees for Coach of the Year. Have we got? There we go. We're going to go old school here. Another one of the Steve Prescott Man of Steel selection panel. Adrian Morley. Look, as I said, bear in hand, you know, real rugby players. None of this.
Season drink and we're a few quiet ones, but nice celebrations at the end of the year.
It is. How have you enjoyed 2019?
Been fantastic. You know, this is a new thing for me, being on the Man of Steel panel, and it's very rewarding. You know, because there's a few of us. You don't do it every week. You do it every other week, every third week. But it's been great. You know, going to the games and doing your judging or staying at home watching on TV, but. You still feel part of the rugby league community, and you know, this is a very prestigious event, and looking forward to it.
Did you get the VIP treatment at the games? You get fed and watered as well?
I certainly did, and which is very nice actually. So my little boy, he's 12 now. He's taking rugby seriously, so I take him with me a lot, and he can't wait because.
Well, you're going to ruin him. He'll think that's what it's all about.
No, yeah, I think he likes eating the food more than watching the game. But no, I have enjoyed it, and yeah, it's been a really evenly contested vote, and looking forward to seeing who wins tonight.
Okay, so tip of your tongue, who do you think is going to pick up the award for this evening, Steve Prescott Man of Steel Award? And not only that, back it up with what do you think the outcome next Saturday night is going to be?
I think Jackson Hastings will win the Man of Steel, and me being a Salford boy, Robbie cannot go against anyone other than Salford next Saturday. And I think it's great for the game, first and foremost, they're making the grand final. But the dirty old town, the Salford Red Devils, they're going to get you Saturday.
There you go. Thank you very much, Moza. And there you have it, blood runs thicker than water, as they say. And you've got a Salford lad through and through, absolutely loves it. If we do a 360-degree look, you can see that we're the last people in. So let's just, are we just popping in? We're going up here? We're going up there. I'm getting directed. Trophy, yes, I'm getting directed. So Katie's just off camera going, trophy, trophy, trophy. I don't think I was supposed to say trophy, but we come all the way back to what it's all about. The Betfred Super League Awards for 2019, and this is what the season's all about, this wonderful piece of art. And that's what it is. It's sort of the sculpture. I got to say, it's hard to lift this, though. Most trophies have, like, arms on it, and you can lift it up. This one, its center of gravity is really high, so it is actually quite hard to lift. But I tell you what, when you do lift it, you're so pumped up, it feels like it's light as a feather. Absolutely brilliant. Look, thank you very much for spending your time with me. I hope you've enjoyed what everyone else has got to say. And look, enjoy the final next week. Love you.
Thank you for that warm welcome. It was almost like it was rehearsed, wasn't it? Welcome to the Lowry Theatre. There's 1,500 of us in tonight, ladies and gents. How you all doing up there in Liverpool? Give us a cheer at the back. Lovely, lovely to see you all. It's going to be a fantastic night. Super League Awards with a slight difference. Anyone here for the first time this evening? Give us a cheer. Little do you know that you're not going to leave until 4:30 a.m. Quite happy about that. A few drinks, no, why not? Only joking, it's a jam-packed show, 80 minutes of rugby action tonight, just no half-time, and we're going to be indoors as well, but it is a very different Betfred Super League Awards night.
Yeah, it is, and it does promise to be a fantastic evening, and we would like to start by, first of all, thanking the title sponsors, Betfred, and of course the main broadcaster, Sky Sports, as we build towards two of the biggest awards of the night, the Telegraph Woman of Steel and the Steve Prescott MBE Man of Steel.
We're also building up to a grand final. Any St Helens fans in this evening?
What about Salford? Where are my Salford?
Fair play. Pretty good. To be fair, I thought you'd all be hungover, but you're in great voice. Well done. Listen, we start tonight with a bang as we look back on the Betfred Super League season. Yep, what a season it's been, and some of those may feature on stage this evening. 9 awards in total, and we will be joined on stage throughout the night by some legends of the game and some real characters as well as we build up to those 2 big awards at the end of the night.
Yeah, the Steve Prescott MBE Man of Steel has taken a slightly different twist this year. A panel of legends deciding their top 3 players for every game. With the quality we have in Super League, it really wasn't an easy task. Many are here tonight, but please stand and take a round of applause. Ellery Hanley, MBE. Horse Goldthorpe, MBE. Johnny Whiteley, MBE. Barry McDermott. Terry O'Connor. Phil Clark. Phil. Gary Schofield, OBE. Keith Senior. Earl Crabtree. Adrian Morley. Dennis Betts. And Robbie Hunter-Paul.
Welcome and thank you for all your hard work to the panel there. Now, it all started in 1977, and in 2014, we recognised the player's success whilst remembering one of the very best in Steve Prescott. On our stage tonight, our first guest this evening, please welcome winners of both awards, in Georgia Roach, Ellery Hanley, and Paul Sculthorpe. First of all, we're so glad you're here because you've been playing this afternoon. They won their semi-final this afternoon. The Tigers beating the Warriors. You made it.
Just, yeah.
You glam up quickly. That's the main thing. Are you more nervous playing rugby league or standing on a stage at the Lowry in front of all of these guys?
Definitely right now.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We're going to make you feel very at home. You were the first winner of the Woman of Steel last year at such a young age, a trailblazer, if you like. What did it mean to you to win that award?
Everything, you know, it was an unreal feeling. Like to look back and think, first ever Woman of Steel, like my name's at the top of the trophy, yeah. It's a really overwhelming feeling.
You come from a rugby league family. 2018, what a year that was. It was Golden Boot. It was nominated for Young Sports Personality of the Year, the Woman of Steel as well. And then you make your international debut against France, scored 2 tries. Can you put into words what that was like for you?
No, I don't think I can really. You know, like I could have never wrote it ever. You know, to think if somebody had said the year before you're going to be playing for Castle Tigers next year, you're going to win the first Woman of Steel, and then you're going to make your debut, you know, international debut. I'd have never believed him ever.
And you're a barista, so you go back to the coffee shop thinking, what the hell happened there?
I'm probably the worst barista you could ever come across.
Are you?
Yeah.
Need the coffee for the rugby, though. 4,000 people at the Challenge Cup final this year. There is an interest in the women's game. What would you like to see happen and develop?
Just to see it grow, you know, more girls get involved, and obviously things like this, you can see that it's growing, you know, the awards coming together. So yeah, I think it's going in the right direction, and it just needs to keep going this way.
We're expecting a great game on Friday night, Cass against Leeds. You support Leeds?
Yeah.
How's that work? Lifelong fan playing against your team?
I suppose it's just where I'm happy.
Okay,
So.
good answer. That's very good. You've done all the media training and everything, I can tell. And then straight after Friday night, Saturday, you'll get on a plane to go down under with England for the Nines, is that right?
Yeah, really exciting.
Yeah, you'll be missing the grand final and going and doing your own thing. Lovely stuff. Thanks for being here tonight. It's a pleasure to have you. Georgia Roche.
Thank you.
Just quickly, who's your favourite out of Ellery Hanley and Paul Sculthorpe?
Well, I'm going to have to say Ella Hanley because he's a Yorkshireman.
Sorry, Paul. Over to you, Jenna.
Scully, don't worry. Ellery, I want to start with you. I spoke briefly about the new concept of the Man of Steel. Can you talk a little bit about how it came about and just a little bit more detail?
Yeah, I first of all really have to say fantastic audience tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The noise from the whole crowd, from all the tears, it's been absolutely wonderful. It's great to hear the Salford with the great voice there and everything. I really do hope it's a great game come this weekend in regards to the final and everything. You've done a tremendous job. Ian Watson, all the establishment. And let's not forget the supporters have been absolutely magnificent. The Travelling Army has been absolutely wonderful for the crisis the club has been in over the number of years and where they're at this moment in time. I take my hat off to you. Brilliant. Just in regards to the Man of Steel and Steve Prescott Man of Steel, let me just give you just a small little bit background in terms of what it's meant to me. Steve Prescott, MBE, means everything to me. And it gives me goosebumps to sit here to think, what a character, what a human being, what a brave heart. We all deserve to make sure that we live, make sure that his name lives in memory of all of us and is etched in our memory forever. Because what he has done and given to the game, even through tragedy and in terms of fighting through his illness, we have to give the very, very best and make sure that even our panel of players and ex-coaches and so forth, that we make sure that we present this award in the best way we can. It's been a fantastic season in terms of the players. I have nothing but admiration for all the players and the respect. Every time they cross the whitewash and they go across that field and they go across into battle against all different teams, what a wonderful job. We've had a great season and it's brought up a lot of surprises with teams and so forth. So as I said to you, I have enormous admiration for all the players and respect, and it will always be that with me. I think one of the things with me is the fact that once you've been a player and a coach, you understand what it takes to go across the whitewash and play those games week in, week out, doing the pre-season training. It's just absolutely magnificent. How the award system has been set up, the panel and the awards being distributed in 3-2-1 system, I think it's been absolutely fantastic in terms of knowing that the players who have played the best throughout the season, and it takes a lot in terms of the players playing well for the whole season, not just in terms of being fit for the full season, but making sure that they're bringing all the tools to the game for the whole 80 minutes.
Yeah. Ellery, you're the only player to have ever won the Man of Steel on 3 separate occasions. And if it wasn't for a damn Aussie and chariots, you could have won 5 straight.
Well, if I'm really honest, I didn't actually know that until a few years ago, that someone had actually mentioned that I'd actually won the Man of Steel as many times as I actually have. And it gives me great goosebumps to think that that has happened in my personal achievements. But I think during the course of my period of time of playing, I never thought of individual awards. It was all about a collective team and playing together as one band and winning for the particular team I was playing for, whether it was with Bradford or whether it was Leeds or whether it was Balmain or Wigan. To me, all what mattered was winning. The awards you don't look at, as in my case, and just from my point of view, I don't look at awards and individual awards probably until afterwards now, and people mention it to you, as Jenna has just reminded me just now, that you know, I'd won it 3 times and so forth. But, you know, I think one of the things what's important is that you've got to thank all the players that you've played with, because they've put you in that position and they've helped you bring you along to get you into that great position of winning these particular awards. And I'm talking about not just the players you've played with, but the players that you've played against as well. Just simply from the fact that it brings the best out of you as an individual player.
Scully. Yeah. These awards are so special to you for a number of reasons. You are the only player to have ever won it back-to-back, and not to make you feel old, but that was almost 20 years ago now. Do you think that is likely to ever happen again?
I'm sure it will. I've just got to reiterate what Ellery said, though. It's individual awards are nice, but you know we all know it's a team sport. I was very fortunate to be part of a sensational St Helens team. 2001, 2002 when I won it. My best year was probably 2003. I got robbed.
So you could have potentially.
Yeah, I should have done the hat trick, but you know, just one of many great players at Saints, and as Ellery said, you know, it's them players that also help your performances. And for me, it was just trying to be consistent, you know, week in, week out.
Ellery touched on it before. Steve, he was one of your best mates. For people here who weren't fortunate enough to know him, can you try and tell us a little bit about what kind of person he was, what kind of player he was?
Steve was just an unbelievable competitor, I think, in anything that he did. I'm sure Lindsay will tell you that as well. He had a nasty side to him as well. You want to play golf with him. You know, he wanted to win everything that he did. And, you know, speaking of Steve, you know, one thing I've always said of what he's done post-diagnosis and his charity work and inspiring others and raising millions of pounds, let's not forget what an unbelievable rugby league player he was as well. And you know, because he was. I mean, I've never seen anybody pull away from Darren Albert, and Prescott did that. So he was a sensational player. But talking to Steve, you know, when we did the challenges, and he talked about his rugby career, and you see the resilience that he had as a player. You know, he was always turned away, you know, in the early years for being too small. But he progressed, and you know, he represented his country, and as I said, became one of the best fullbacks in the game. And I think that resilience certainly helped him in his fight after playing. So just an unbelievable man, and I don't think there's any more fitting award that could be named after such a man.
I think we can all learn a lot from Steve Prescott.
Definitely. As I say, he was just an inspiration to everybody that he met, everybody that he's inspired, you know, with what he did in the early years as a rugby player, and then obviously life after diagnosis. And you know, you look at the ultimate decision that he made with his final surgery, and you look at, you know, the people who are surviving now on the back of that.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for the insight. Really inspiring. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Scully, Ellery, and Georgia. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, let's go back to January 31st, the Totally Wicked Stadium, in freezing cold conditions. Round 1 of the 2019 Betfred Super League season, and let's see who the early contenders for Man of Steel were.
Gets the pass away to Ferrimo. Ferrimo just shoves away the first challenge. Cross inside in, and Lomax goes over for another St Helens try. Roby for the line, he gets a try, James Roby. Fafita's waiting for it, here he comes, David Fafita. That's what he does. That's what he does so well.
More of that to come very shortly, but first, our first award of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. And it is the Fans Entertainer of the Awards 2019. Now, this is the fine line between entertaining you, the fans, and not getting a bollocking off your coach on a Monday morning. To present the award, one of the most exciting players to ever grace the field, please welcome Robbie Hunter-Paul. See, Robbie, looking sharp. Where's your rabbit and hat? And what is your first trick?
That's part of the magic trick.
Did you?
It'll appear magically.
Did you
Don't
not
give it away.
Did you not get the memo tonight?
I got the memo. Didn't read the memo, but got the memo.
Sod the memo. Thanks for being here tonight. Fans Entertainer. I know it's a business that's around winning and results, but there is, you know, an element of having to entertain on the pitch as well, and you used to like to do that.
Oh, of course, yeah. I never stick to the coach's rules. I was a nightmare to coach. But, you know, I reckon the game that gives you the opportunity to express yourself. And we've seen over the years so many absolutely brilliant athletes doing exactly that. We've just seen it now on the TV, and that's what I look for. Part of my selection panel critique was I started off, first thing they had to do is do their job first, but the second thing, what X factor elements could they bring to the game?
Yeah.
And we're really treated in 2019. Absolutely amazing. Been blessed to have some absolutely fantastic athletes that have donned their respective club shirts. And obviously they've been honoured this evening with the 5 that we've chosen. And we've got 5 of the best.
Yeah.
5 of the best in the world. And it's incredible.
And quite a few more, actually. Yeah, it was all about entertainment, voted by you, the fans. But there can be only one winner. Our first winner tonight is this man.
Well, that'll be on his highlights reel for the rest of his life.
Corbin Hill goes for 1, goes for 2. Harroll will not be stopped.
Infield, Kieran Dixon, and he's got... he runs into the buffers. The buffers in the shape of Mossy Masoi.
It's with Austin again, another one of those trademark dummies. What a beautiful try. It's 4 for Blake Austin.
So that ball is bobbed up for David Mead. And Mead is going to wrap this one up with his second try of the game. Lovely hands, and Makinson will do what he does best with a flying finish.
Fafita's waiting for it. Here he comes, David Fafita. That's what he does. That's what he does so well.
Ratinago is away. Now watch this guy go. The Fijian flyer is away.
He's giving Stefan Ratchford every encouragement.
Hastings trying to get away. He has got away.
Please welcome Jackson Hastings. Jackson. It's like a home game, isn't it? They are... They're still singing since Friday night, what a night that was. Just before we go any further, though, just an awkward moment between you two at the end. This is on television. She's trying to give you a handshake. You hug her back. What was that all about?
I think I went for the handshake.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh.
I was, yeah. It was your fault, not mine.
Yeah. Wow.
But
This
it wasn't
was
awkward then, was it?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't awkward until we watched it back and everyone was tagging us in it. But I went for the left-handed handshake and Jenna went for the
juggling
don't want to borrow
trophies.
you.
It was an emotional time, right?
Yeah.
I had the trophy. I didn't even hand you the trophy.
Yeah,
I mean,
That's weird, because that was from his girlfriend. Speaking of which, you know, I know that you've been entertaining the fans on and off the pitch this year and spending a few extra sessions doing boot camps. And would you put that down to a success this year?
Oh, this is a stitch up. But yeah, it's all part of it. Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
We'll leave it there, I think. You've been entertaining the fans. I know you've been kitted out tonight as well. You look very good. All Men of Steel nominees.
Yeah, all 5 nominees got to go and get kitted out at Harvey Nicks. So obviously Blake, Lachlan, Watsy, and oh shit, I forgot the other nominee.
That is awkward. Who was it?
I said Watsy. I'm only staring you.
There you go.
George. Sorry.
That's awkward. He was next door to you as well.
Yeah, I know. We shared a room too. That was weird. But no, we all got looked after, and obviously you did as well. So it ended up being a good day.
Didn't give any new socks though, did they not?
They didn't actually. They ran out. They didn't have any size 13, so they ran out.
On a serious note, you've been amazing to watch this season. I think there's a few people in the crowd that would agree as well. Our first winner tonight, Jackson Hastings.
Okay.
and Robbie Hunter-Paul, thank you so much. Thank you.
I would stop the world for you, you know. I wanna let you know. I'll never let this feeling go. This love has no feeling.
That wasn't awkward at all, again. There have been some brilliant moments, both on and off the pitch in 2019. Now, we were given the task to pick just 3, and it was very, very difficult. But helping me out was Sky Sports pundits Terry O'Connor, Barry McDermott, and Phil Clark. Please welcome them up onto stage.
And the world's gonna know your name. Yeah. 'Cause you burn with the burning flame. And the world's gonna know your name. Yeah. And you'll be on the walls of the whole fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile.
How smooth. Like, doesn't Phil Clark look smooth? You can only see his teeth on that sofa.
We've gone for the Arthur and Tommy Shelby look. You make your mind up which one's which.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Sorry,
What?
sorry, which one's the dumb one?
You'll have to work that out. Gents, as I said, it was very difficult to do, but after much deliberation, we got there in the end. Let's take a look at our 3 most memorable moments on Sky Sports.
They're 40 metres out. Will they go for it? He does. He does. He does. He's kicked it. What an amazing goal kick from Brad Dwyer.
And look at David Furner.
Yes. And he celebrates Brad Dwyer's first ever drop goal of his career.
Do you think it's just to get to his kneecap, Barry? I know you were.
He was trying to slap the other side of his knee, and I don't know whether. Oh, look at it! Wow. No. Wow! He's whacked it back in place.
Look at him, still wants to stay on.
Holy moly!
I think he's just told the physio that.
I'm all right. It's back in. Let's crack on.
Absolutely astounding what they go through and put the bodies through.
Hard not to be excited, Barry. Bill, the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up. I cannot believe we were at such an iconic stadium playing the greatest game of rugby league. So let's hope for an absolute belting match.
Maculorum's pass. Langy will stretch out. What a springboard it is for the Catalan Dragons, for Rugby League in France, for Rugby League in Barcelona.
I think we did a pretty good job there.
I think it was really difficult because you can talk about the athletes that play the sport and as ex-players that you're in awe of what you see on the pitch, whether they be scoring tries or just physically how good they are. And really difficult to just highlight one moment, but
I think the one that sticks out with me and everyone that you talk to about the game, like, it talks about Joe Westerman, saying that are you lads like crazy? Like, how does he do that? He gets tackled, his kneecap comes out the side, he's trying to whack it back in. He's not even asking the ref to stop the game, and he just holds on to the ball. He's trying to whack it back in. Then he's saying to the physio, "No, I'm okay." Like, they're incredible. They are absolutely incredible, and what they do for the sport, they put it on the map. Like, you can talk about lads who've, excuse this ladies, but 2 lads who've played on in games who've had ruptured testicles. Like, Brian Carney got stretchered off with a fractured nail when he played. and I just think that you look at what the players go through, what they do for the sport. They are so humble. They are living the community where they play, and they're so accessible. And I think that's what really makes the rugby league so good, because they are genuine people.
Baz, you were as tough as they come, but I don't even think you'd be able to do something like that.
Well, I'm just shocked, actually, because we had a £10 bet that he wouldn't say the word testicle. So if I said testicle twice, does that mean I win the bet? But no, we watch every week, and not only do we watch the live matches, then I think we have a collective understanding that you go away, you look at the games that aren't on Sky, and my Monday mornings or Monday day would be watching those games, and as Tez has said, we are in awe. We appreciate the toughness of our sport. We appreciate the skill. We appreciate how much goes in, because it's not just about, getting up and playing that ball, and not just about going through those phases within games that are tough. It's about turning up for training on a Monday morning. So I think he's officially the toughest man in the world now.
I agree.
But the 3rd, 4th and 5th would all be rugby league players anyway.
Yeah. Phil, the drop goal. I don't know what was more memorable, the actual drop goal or David Furner's reaction.
Well, I think you're right. I think I love rugby league because of how it makes you feel, and I think the emotion in this room of the people, it's the best Man of Steel I've been for the last 20 years. The atmosphere is fantastic, and it's been very successful being here. But the emotion...
He's just trying to win you over. Don't buy it. Don't buy it.
The highs and lows that you go through throughout the course of a season, as supporters know, the highs and lows were, minimising to 3 seconds, really, there, where we thought the game would be lost. It was the worst decision, then all of a sudden the relief. And I thought that summed it up, really, Dave Furner's face there. So I think that moment of relief, the ecstasy when your team win, which they did dramatically there in Golden Point, was for me the most memorable moment, and the one that I'll probably remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, wow. Baz, that leaves us with the new camp. Super League, breaking new ground, both metaphorically and literally.
I think the footprint of rugby league, particularly if you look at what happened last night with Toronto, and you can have, I think it splits opinion, Toronto, but they're here. We've got to get on with it. I think we've got to embrace the new world. And I think if you look at those 2 finals, you've got Salford. He's just playing to the crowd. That's how we do it, Phil. You've got Salford, who have a great chance in the final, so their footprint is strong. And let's hope, and speaking to Adrian Morley this afternoon, he's certainly one of those people that's hopeful that it will then generate that interest and that momentum that the AJBL needs to get the full crowds.
Wouldn't it be brilliant?
As usual, I have not finished before you start.
You took a big deep breath,
I'm letting the people applaud. So, footprint. So, Featherstone in the final yesterday against Toronto. What a magnificent story really Featherstone was to go to the 2nd, 3rd and 4th team and beat them.
Yeah. And to take it to Toronto early on too.
And up to an hour on the clock, we're really in that game. So going back to the new camp, if you look at the footprint, going to places that are within our grasp, and it stretches us, and that's certainly the attitude of Super League in 2019. Stretch yourself and let's see how far we go.
Wouldn't it have been good if Lionel Messi was, watching that game, and
I'm sure he
bloke who gets paid in 2 weeks what it costs to run a rugby league club, and which is ludicrous. I don't know whether Lionel Messi would get back up with a ruptured testicle or a knee that was out of joint, but I just think that, like, looking at that fixture, like breaking new grounds, whether it be, like Baz says, whether it be in Barcelona or whether it be in Toronto, I think the game the game is outstanding. Everyone's here supporting the team and wearing the colours. And we're here because we're passionate and we're fans and we love the sport.
Yeah. And I tipped Salford 5 years ago, so I was before the rest of them. I jumped on that wagon early. Good luck.
It's not going to work, Phil.
Tez, before I let you go, I know that there was something that you wanted to mention in terms of emerging players. We saw some amazing youngsters on show this season.
Oh, Jenna, we talked about this a few weeks ago, and I just think that for the sport to progress, we need to be talking about the next generation, and you see lads and ex-players there that were absolutely quality. And I can't believe as a fat kid from Widnes that I got to play against Ellery Hanley. Like, incredible. But I love now going up to games and you're watching the next emerging talent, the nominees for the Young Player of the Year. There could have been another 10 of those because they are absolutely incredible. They're tough, but not only they're tough, they're skillful. And the game has really, I can't think of any other year, Jenna, where we've had so many youngsters that we've all been waxing lyrical about on Sky. I think incredible. The clubs have done a great job in getting them through the systems. Bringing back reserves next year will give other kids who maybe not ready yet, but will give them a chance to come through. So
it certainly will be an exciting few years for the game.
And I must admit, like, I can't believe you're having a go at Phil. He's a massive, massive Saints fan. What's up with you all up there?
Ladies and gentlemen, Baz, Tez and Phil. Thank you.
Big thank you to the three amigos. We'll get to the next generation very shortly, but next up is the award for top try scorer of 2019. And we've got the right man to present the award. The first man to score more than 200 Super League tries. Please welcome Danny Maguire. Good to see you, Danny. Great to see you. Just really quickly, I know the guys before talked about Man of Steel and how important the team was. Sod that, you're retiring this year. Isn't it great to be on 247 and no one's going to catch you?
Yeah, it certainly is. It's funny, actually. I've got a 5-year-old son, and for the last 3 years, all he said to me, Dad, how come you don't score any tries? And I have to go on YouTube and show him that I used to be a good player. So, but yeah, and it's funny, actually, the recipient of the award tonight, he actually practices scoring tries like this man. So I catch him in the back garden, and he's diving in the corner, and it's I won't say his name because well, everybody knows Tommy Wakeson. He's diving one-handed tries in the corner, and I'm saying your dad used to do that a few years ago, you know, and he don't believe me, but you know, Tommy's brilliant, and you know, he's inspiring the next generation.
I couldn't say it better myself. Should we see him in action?
Let's see him.
Here he is.
I am the best at this, nah, you ain't gonna mess with this. Ever heard of what the veteran is? I work harder than most to be what the real is. Never stop training, cause I'm the best at this. I am the best at this, nah, you ain't gonna mess with this. Ever heard of what the veteran is? I work harder than most to be what the real is. Never stop training, cause I'm the best at this.
Oh, the challenge is on for Makinson. Makinson will score! What a try from St Helens! Lomax little double pump and a try from Makinson. Has he got the finish? There is no finer finisher in that sort of marginal zone than Tommy Makinson.
$163 tries for the Saints this year. This man got over 20% of them. Please welcome our Betfred Super League top try scorer of 2019, Tommy Makinson. Well done. That's a bit awkward. Like, his son, you're his hero, not his dad. I mean, I bet you never did that before, have you?
Sorry, Dad. Hey, you're a legend, mate. Everyone here knows that. He's an absolute legend of the game. And yeah, it means a lot to receive this award of Danny. Hopefully I can go and do what he did at Old Trafford next week.
Yeah, indeed.
We let these in.
It's a bit of a home crowd, isn't it? Do you ever think about records? Because you signed a new deal start of the year. You've still got 3 years left. You keep going at this rate. You could get pretty close. Did you ever think about that?
Not really. Like Ellery said, I think the personal accolades, they go to the back of your mind, and the main thing is the team focus, and the focus this year is them trophies. And just like Danny, that's what he's done throughout his career, and I think his trophy cabinet's very full, so hopefully man can finish that at the end.
It's your birthday on Thursday. You're 28. You getting smashed with the boys?
18, mate, I think. I think got 10 years wrong. Yeah, I'll have to ask Justin, he's my coach, so who knows. Smash that We'll see.
Good answer. Tommy, enjoy your birthday. It's been another incredible season, and go well at the weekend. Tommy Makinson, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
And a big thank you to Danny Maguire.
So many months. Our next award tonight is the Betfred Super League Top Tackler of the Year. Now, just to take you back, this is what we've got the perfect guy to present this award, actually. This was him before his debut in 1999. And after 20 years in the game and over 10,000 tackles, this is him now. Please welcome Ben Westwood.
He put that in. No wonder why he played Union and not League. Benny, you've retired. Yep. What have you been doing with your time the last few weeks? I believe you've been busy laying concrete, or?
Yeah, I helped for my friends out. Yeah, it's been busy, I get up and I watch Good Morning Britain, and then Judge Rinder onto This Morning, onto Loose Women.
So busy.
Yeah, busy. Then you've got the real Dickinson's Real Deal, Terrible. It's quite worrying that I actually know these. It's just rolled off my tongue, isn't it? But,
do you even remember life before rugby?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I was straight from school. I went straight to bricklayer with my dad. So I've got a bit of graft in me. So it's still in there. Yeah, I'm just chilling at the minute and like I say, relaxing for a bit, and then hopefully I'll start a bit of work with the club soon.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being such a good sport. Let's see who took out the top tackler of the year.
Danny Houghton in there. Veteran of these confrontations is Houghton. It's picked up by Jordan Abdul. Danny Houghton quickly pounces on him. He gets hold of Lawler this time, does Houghton. It's giving away size and weight.
55 tackles we make without this phenomenal player.
But who was there to meet Mossy Masoi? Danny Houghton.
You mentioned Danny Houghton and how important he is to the black and white.
Ladies and gentlemen, your top tackler of the year, Danny Houghton. Danny, congratulations. This is the 5th time you've taken out this award. You're really making it your own, aren't you?
Yeah, after watching all them big shots I was putting in there, I don't know why they keep running at me.
To think that you made over 1,200 tackles this season and you didn't even play every game, it's not a bad feat.
I don't know if it's good or bad. It's probably definitely dampening my career. I've probably got another year or two in me through doing it, but on a serious note, it's just part and parcel of the role you play. Play 80 minutes every week in the middle, and being a smaller player out there, as a big bloke, you'd probably target the smaller player. So it's just part and parcel of playing a lot of minutes and playing in that middle of the field.
Who is the toughest player to tackle?
Oh God. don't know. Benny.
There you go. Denny Houghton, congratulations. You are the top tackler of the year. Super Benny Westwood, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, now he's back.
I think I got away with it. He looked quite friendly at the end.
Yeah, cheers for that.
Yeah, thank you for that. All right, we move on and take a moment now to acknowledge some other heroics in the game this year. We're going to celebrate some people. It's a really important part of the night, actually, ladies and gents, as we give it up for the 2019 Coral Challenge Cup winners. Put your hands together. In the men's, Warrington Wolves.
The women's, Leeds Rhinos. And wheelchair winners, Leeds Rhinos. Pleased to see both James Simpson and Jodie Boyd-Ward here tonight.
Also put your hands together for the 2019 Super League Academy winners, Wigan Warriors. Joe and Ethan with us tonight, welcome. Our wheelchair rugby league winners, Halifax. Nathan and Tony in the crowd this evening. Also, Learning Disability Super League made its debut at Magic Weekend this year, playing in front of thousands at Anfield. Represented here tonight by Warrington Wolves players Oliver Thomason and Liam Donnelly, indeed. And a heartfelt thanks as well to the sponsors, Community Integrated Care. Otherwise, these games just wouldn't happen in the community. Warrington are also the Physical Disability Rugby League champions, and it's fair to say they've been... In fact, Will and Jason are here tonight from that team, and I think it's fair to say that Warrington have been very, very influential in the community of late.
Yeah, they certainly have, because it is the Warrington Wolves who have taken out the Super League Foundation of the Year.
They've been brilliant. What a season it's been indeed. All right, our next award this evening is for the Young Player of the Year. Some serious talent on show this year. We talked about it a bit before. To present it, a man who's actually spotted as a teenager himself. Please welcome Earl Crabtree. Good to see you. Lovely that you and Jenna have gone for the same hairstyle this evening.
Best hair on stage.
Benny Westwood, are you doing daytime TV? You've moved upstairs now, haven't you? Doing a bit of work up there, are you? Upstairs? Like
Yeah, so Benny's obviously in a position where I was probably a couple of years ago. I'm now still working for the Huddersfield Giants. Absolutely love my role. I'll tell you what, that'll do for me. And I've never seen that many Giants fans before. That's fantastic, thank you.
It's great to have you here. I think you have the nominees in front of you. Can I give you a hand there whilst you read out the nominees for the Young Player of the Year 2019?
So nominees for the Young Player of the Year are Morgan Smithies, Jack Walker, Harry Newman, Matty Lees, and Jake Truman.
And the winner is...
You know, it's a cliche thing to say, but I genuinely believe it's the strongest Young Player of the Year shortlist we've ever had, really.
I think you could make a credible case for any one of those five on the shortlist.
Generally, there's a lot of players out there that are showing a quality amongst the young players in Super League.
It was very tight. There were two outstanding candidates, well, five outstanding candidates really, but two that really, really stood out.
This guy's just, you know, fearless, he's confident, he's aggressive.
He's played so many games, he's been so consistent.
He's always up for the challenge, you know what I mean? He doesn't want to shirk out of any challenges, he doesn't want to shirk out of any ball carries.
I think the reason he's won this award is because quite simply he can do everything.
He's sort of an old school player in the modern era. He's obviously a very talented and skillful player, but he's got that grit, determination and that toughness, what you need as a young rower. And I think he plays years above his age.
Well, I mean, to play front row in Super League at his age is a challenge in itself, first of all, you know. Naturally, most props mature later in their careers, and Matty Lees has come in and he's making an impact every week.
He's got a real maturity beyond his years. When he's playing, he looks like a guy who's 28, 29, 30-year-old, and he's got 200 games under his belt.
He's a couple of years younger than me, and seeing him develop over the last few years, it's been really good to see. He trains hard as anyone, and like I said, it's just been great to see him develop the way he has. And this year especially, he's come on massive, and he's one of our main forwards. He doesn't show for you, and if you're going to be in the middle at 21, 22 years old, and you're playing against packs like Warrington's pack and Wigan's pack, he deserves all the accolades he's receiving.
"24 appearances for the high-flying Saints, of consistency beyond his years. Our Young Player of the Year, Matty Lees." As much as we love Earl, actually our first choice to present the award with you tonight were your parents, but where are they?
Oh, they've gone missing tonight.
Yeah?
Bring him instead.
I believe they're on holiday, aren't they?
No.
They're not on holiday?
No.
Oh, that's awkward. I was thinking they've gone on holiday, they didn't expect you to win tonight. That's what I was thinking, but that's gone now. We can stream that out online later on. We can edit that bit out. Congratulations on an amazing season. How is the injury?
Yeah, it's going well. Obviously, we come at a bad time, as everyone knows, obviously with Wembley and everything. But everything's going well at the minute, and looking forward to get back training.
What do you like watching? What will you be like this weekend watching the boys?
I've completed Netflix, if that's what you're on about.
I heard you completed Tinder as well.
No, don't be saying that wrong. No, it's good. I'm looking forward to it this weekend. The lads put a lot of work in off the field, what no one sees, and hopefully they get the job done.
I don't think it'll be your last final for sure, and I'm sure everyone here will agree with me as well. Congratulations, Young Player of the Year. Matty Lees.
Thank you.
And a big thank you to Earl Crabtree, and I love your hair.
Great hair.
When talking about rugby league, particularly in this part of the world, I often hear the same thing. It's the people that make the sport. And that is really what it's all about, isn't it? The spirit and the passion. Now I'd like to welcome onto the stage to talk about our next award, a new award for 2019. Please welcome Robert Elston, the Super League Chief Executive.
First thing I should say is thank you, Jenna, for not mixing me up with Phil Clark. Sorry, Phil. Can I just say good evening to everybody this evening? I hope you're having a really good time. This time 12 months ago, Super League had a long list of things that it wanted to do, things it needed to do, things to make the game even better. And on that list was the Man of Steel Awards, this amazing story, the highest individual accolade any player can get. An award that had told 40 years of history, some of the best players ever to pull on a rugby league shirt. And there's a feeling it had a little bit more to give, and I'm delighted we took up that challenge, and delighted when I see you here tonight and everything that we've seen so far. It took a great idea, and it's taken a lot of hard work, so I have to say thank you. Thank you to Jenna and Gethin. Thank you to Lucy Jones and a Super League team that turns its hand to everything and anything and does it remarkably well, to the City Talking, and we've seen some wonderful video here already tonight, and they are an amazing organisation to work with. Indeed, thank you to everybody who's unfolded and told the story of Man of Steel in 2019. We really appreciate it. Thank you to the partners and sponsors of tonight's event, and of course, and Jenna referenced them at the start of the show. Thank you to our primary partners to Sky Sports and Betfred, who really care about our sport, really believe in our sport and invest so much in it in so many ways, and it's a real pleasure to see Fred here tonight. Special thanks, however, to 3 groups in respect of Man of Steel this year, to the class of 2019, the players and coaches who've probably delivered the best ever Super League, in many people's opinion, the best ever Super League. Thank you to you, the fans. I hope you've enjoyed the 2019 season, and of course there's one big game left. There's also, I hope you've enjoyed this evening as well, so thank you to you for all your support. But most of all, a special thank you to the Man of Steel panellists, real rugby league legends, some of the best players, as I said, who've ever played our sport, Man of Steel winners amongst them, led by Lowry Hanley, and thank you to that group who've injected so much authenticity, so much rigour and so much passion into the awards. So a big thank you again to our Man of Steel panellists. This award, I think, is a really special award, the Spirit of Super League, and thank you to Ward Hadaway for your support on this particular award. We spent a lot of time thinking about what Super League's all about, and we always come back to our players. We come back to their passion, their courage, their bravery, their athleticism and their skill. We also look at how they perform on the field with integrity and respect, and that sense of always doing the right thing by their teammates and by their opponents. And we also know how much they invest in their clubs and their communities, and the Spirit of Super League Award is really to try and capture some of that. And the winner this year is someone who maybe showed great sportsmanship on the field or went above and beyond in the community. This year's winner, I think, provided us with the definition of Spirit of Super League. He probably wrote the manual, and it's a real honour for me to share a stage with this winner, somebody who's invested so much in himself, so much in his club, so much in his teammates and his family, his community, the sport of rugby league and the competition of Super League. A real pleasure to share that stage. And Jenny, you're going to tell us a little bit more about him.
Before I do, I would like to reveal who the winner is. Who is the winner of the 2019 inaugural Spirit of Super League? Let's find out.
As human beings, we spend a lot of our time trying to build treasure on earth, to amass wealth, to amass fame, notoriety, whatever it be. But actually, that will not last. It'll degrade, it'll die, it'll fade away. So even winning cannot be eternal. Being a Super League Grand Final winner is not eternal. It's a really special moment in history. You remember, the most gratifying part of it is the faces that you remember and the people that you went on that journey with.
As a human being, I don't think you come across a better bloke.
You know, the graft, the hard work, the commitment, everything that you need to be a good rugby league player. You know, Jonesy
loves Leeds, absolutely loves Leeds, not just the club but as a town, loves the people of Leeds. And yeah, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He'll be renowned around Leeds as a massive legend, not just for the Rhinos, but as I reckon he could be an MP or something like that, Jones. He's got that much ambition in him.
Yeah, I loved my time alongside Jonesy, absolutely loved it. He never let you down. I think that's all you can ask for of a teammate, is somebody that turns up and wants to win and wants to be successful, and obviously he's an absolute champion off the field as well. He'd do out for you, so you know, I've got nothing but respect for him.
I've always said life's about getting out of bed and being the best version of yourself based on what happened yesterday, and by yesterday I mean every single day that's happened since the day you were born. And whenever I go talk to schools, businesses, community clubs, that's what I always talk about, you know, thrive in the adversity, don't repel it. You can't enjoy it, but you can certainly learn from it. When they look back on Jamie Jones Buchanan, I just hope that they see or remember somebody who always tried his best, who was always quite resilient and persevering. Never the best player, but would always give my best no matter what, and do it for long periods of time. And whatever I do next, I'm just going to put my best foot forward and use all the lessons that I've learned as a player to enhance the lives of the people that exist in the environment that's around me. And one day, shut my eyes for the last time thinking that hopefully I've put more smiles on people's faces than I have tears. Where I am now as a 38-year-old when I retire and I finish playing will be as a direct result of the game of rugby league. The people that I've met, the experiences that I've had have shaped me into the man that I am today. And I owe a great debt of gratitude to the game itself and the people within.
Now we have Martin Curran and Jodie Tooson here to present the Spirit of Super League Award to Jamie Jones Buchanan. JJB, the Spirit of Super League. Not a bad way to sign off.
Wow, for anybody who knows me, I'm not usually speechless, but it looks like I acted for that, doesn't it? I've done a little bit of acting in the last 2 years, but I had no idea about that, and this is one of the biggest, if not the biggest honour. You know, forget about grand final rings and Challenge Cup medals. To get this from the game in the Super League, this is big, this is really special. And listen, I had the opportunity to fulfil my boyhood dream as a 15-year-old when I signed for Leeds back in 1997 as a fanboy. And 2 years later, I realised that dream in 1999 when I made my debut. And I was fortunate to relive that dream 421 times before I had one last honour bestowed upon me, and that was to present Corey Johnson, as you saw in that video, with his first debut shirt, our youngest debutant, 144 players after mine. And I always said, and I said to him on the day, you know, the start is always better than the ending. And it was a big day for him. It was his beginning. And without doubt, the most important thing in rugby league, and it's already been mentioned by Ellery and some of the legends, it isn't the grand final rings or the Challenge Cup medals or the World Club challenges or even representing your country. It's the people that you go on that journey with. You know, it's such a privilege to spend that time. And the only problem at the end of it is you can't repay the grace, right, that debt of gratitude to the people that have forged those paths, that have helped you fulfill your potential. All you can do is promise to pay that forward and to invest into that next generation. And anybody who knows me knows that I spend every waking hour of my life trying to evangelise the great game of rugby league through Rugby M with the RFL and the Super League. And there's a great report. I don't want to go on all night. Some people have said I waffle on too long, but there's been a report being commissioned by the RFL called the Dividend Report, and the Dividend Report essentially asked me to go talk about it on Radio 5 Live, and it says it's a report into the socio-economic impact of rugby league within its core communities. It says I'm from Bramley, I'm still learning how to read, I don't know about economics, socio-economic, what do me to talk about it, but ultimately to sum it up, it talked about lads like myself and so many other players within this room who've just had this opportunity from places like Bramzone or Bramley or wherever it might be in Moss Side in Manchester, to just go on this wonderful journey, fulfil their potential, play at places like Wembley and Old Trafford and meet new people, play for your country, and it's so special. So, listen, I'm going to shut up, but I can't tell you, I know I'm the bearded kid from Leeds, and I'm the Leeds Rhinos lad, but I love rugby league enough, and I think I've been around enough places to know that I love you all, and I really appreciate what this means to me. It's absolutely fantastic.
So inspirational, yeah. Thank you. Oh, awkward, another awkward moment. How inspirational is this man? It was brilliant. JJB, you are going to be so missed, but I'm certain that we're going to see you well and truly in this game for a very long time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take the mic. Thank you. Now, JJB isn't the only player to say goodbye in 2019. This year, we say farewell to a few.
It's good work. It's Ablett. It's Ablett. He scored! And Carl Ablett could well have won the grand final for the Leeds Rhinos. And Bailey could even get on the score sheet. I think he has. So he's in supreme form at the moment. Travella, Greg Bird! It's Greg Bird who's caught them napping. Oh, great work. Wonderful try. What a try from Ben Cockayne. attacking the line, and he's given it to Gareth Hook, who goes all the way for the try. And here is Shirley Jones, and he scores. Does he? He thinks he has.
Oh, it's a good opportunity.
It's a try for Mulaney coming up. No, it isn't. It's a try for Tommy Lee. It's the way to Sikamano. Oh, Sikamano. He gets there somehow. What an effort. Yeah, what an effort. Danny Maguire leads. The young hero to win the Grand Final maybe. And Leeds maybe. The long wait is over.
Now they go to their left again. It's Minicello who's got that ball down.
Richard Moore standing. Strength from Richard Moore. What strength from the Bradford youngster.
It's Payer, Ricky Payer, salutes the sky, salutes the crowd.
Ball inside, and it's a good run from Nick Scruton, and it's a try from Nick Scruton. The Warrington skipper takes it forward, finds Aston Sims. Sims is in for Warrington. An unbelievable comeback. Now Ben Westwood. Westwood has broken through and will score behind the posts. And Whiting to complete the night for Hull. And here comes Wild, and he's away from Withers, and Wigan are in with this outstanding youngster Stephen Wild underneath the posts. It's a great kick in, it bounces off the legs, and Oliver Welch will pick up and score for Wakefield.
We're going to miss them, and best of luck as they go on to their new chapter in life. All right, got 3 awards left this evening, ladies and gents. Now, if you type leadership into Google, get 5.3 billion hits. It's subjective. It takes a lot of will and courage to lead a team into battle. To present the award for Coach of the Year 2019, a lady who took England netball to the summit on the Gold Coast last year, winning gold. And a man who's got so much gold, he decided to sponsor the best league in the world. Please welcome Tracy Neville and Fred Doan. Come over this side, Fred, if you would. Thank you very much. Tracy, we all... Come in here. I don't mind. Yeah, come over here, lovely. You come from a very sporting family, obviously. There's cricket in there, there's netball, there's football. What happened to rugby league? You're a Berry girl.
I actually really support rugby league. I think it's one of the best fascinating games I've ever been in, and it's obviously Northwest bred, so I am obviously really proud of that. But no, I don't think my brothers are tough enough for that game. Have you seen them on a football pitch?
You said that, not me.
Yeah.
Salford born and bred, Fred. Listen, I don't know if you're a betting man at all, but who's your money on this weekend?
You know, as sponsors, I've been told by my directors that I should remain neutral. I love St Helens. It was a big part of my early development. I was born in Odsall, Salford, still live in Salford, and you know where I'm going.
Thank you both for being here to present the award for Coach of the Year. Shall we find out who it is? Here are the nominees. Danny Ward, London. Ian Watson, Salford Red Devils. Steve Price, Warrington Wolves. And Justin Holbrook, St Helens. And the winner is...
Real down-to-earth, nice guy who was really motivated and wanted to come here and wanted to do well, and enjoys the boys' company, enjoys the company of the staff, and we come to work and we really enjoy being part of it.
He always comes in with a smile on his face, cracks jokes, lightens the mood, and I think that's very important, and that filters down through to us as players, I think.
to have such a separation between the fans and the club, it was quite a toxic environment, to be fair. And Justin come in there and what he did, he reunited us all under one community, and he made it a place where everyone wanted to come again and be a part of.
I think when Justin come in, I think he's sort of simplified everything, stripped it back, sort of brought us back from where we were quite sort of frustrated with ourselves to just bring the excitement back.
I think everyone bought into his ideas, and from that we've been able to produce on the field.
And players have a clear message of what's expected of them.
He backs us to back our skill.
He wants to play and he wants to entertain as well.
If an opportunity presents itself, then back your ability and play to take it.
The standards that we set, as I said, as staff, from myself to the playing group as well, we're all in this together, and I'll make that clear, and no one's above anybody else. So I'll have as much respect for the kit man or whatever, because we're all important pieces in this puzzle.
He's a good people person, and I know that all the boys in this club respect him.
He's improved us all as players, but I'd like to think he's made us better people as well.
He believes in you as a player, and that's what you need when you're young, when you're coming through. You need someone to believe in you.
If you as a head coach can make those around you feel valued, then they're obviously going to work hard. They're obviously going to come in motivated every day, and that will almost certainly have an effect on performance.
I just think I want to be remembered as someone that's come in and tried his absolute best, and I'm proud of that, and I'm happy with it. And if we're good enough to win, great. If we're not, I'm still the same person that's tried his best.
I'm sure this will just be a cheer. Please welcome 2019 Betfred Super League Coach of the Year, Justin Holbrook. Congratulations. What is started already? It's started.
I might start by saying that the votes had to be in about mid-August, so that's probably why I'm standing here. So sorry for all you Salford fans. The awards had to be in early. So
look, what an incredible 2 years you've had.
Yeah, I've said this a number of times, but the minute I got here, I've loved it. The first game for myself was Magic Weekend, so I got lucky straight away. It was a fantastic event, and then my first home game was Wigan against our biggest rivals. And then now I fast forward all and think my last home game was against Wigan too. So look, as I said, I've loved the competition, everyone involved in it, and obviously. All the other great coaches, I think, it's highlighted what Watto's done, what a fantastic job he's done with Salford. I think it's great for our game of rugby league. Obviously, as our club St Helens, where, I'm acknowledging and got no issue with the hype that Salford get. I think it's great for the game, and for every neutral fan will be going for him and all that, and I got no issue with that. I do the same. So, fantastic. Obviously to Denny Ward, the season he had at London, and obviously my good mate Steve Price here as well, who obviously won the Challenge Cup. So for myself to obviously edge out all those coaches, it's an honour, but one that I've got to thank the rest of my staff, and obviously in particular the players. I think for us to finish 16 points clear of second spot, it's something that as a group we should be really proud of. It's not easy to do, and to play well every single week is a credit to them. And this award will be shared obviously with the players, but and last of all, thanks to everyone involved in the game. I think coming over, didn't really know anybody. I knew our club was going to make me feel at home, but to all the away supporters, I remember one game we played at Leeds last year, and I think we beat them with a field goal right on the bell, and it was when it was the demountables, and you had to walk about 500 metres back, sort of just a barrier side of the crowd, and I had to walk back by myself after the Sky interviews, and I thought, oh, I'm going to cop it here. And 5 times I got stopped by the Leeds fans thanking me for the brand of rugby league that we've played, and I just knew, you know, what a great competition it is over here. And then to have our biggest rivals, Wigan, and, you know, to Ian and Chris Radlinski, who run their club, like, couldn't be more welcoming for us. So I just think while it's a small game, I'm really pleased that it's growing, but everyone involved in it are great people, and thanks for this award.
One last thing before you go. I can't imagine why anyone would want to leave St Helens in February, March for the Gold Coast, the Sunshine Coast. But before you do go, you've got one last team talk this weekend.
Yes, I have, and it's one that I'm very grateful to be having. You know, we talk about, with Robert talking about last year, it was probably my hardest night to attend last year. It was a horrible feeling. We were the best side all year, and we didn't even get to the grand final, so we're here, turned up watching all the awards night, and it was a very tough night to get through. So to be here tonight and knowing that we're giving ourselves every chance on Saturday is a much better feeling.
All the best next year. Very congratulations. Good luck on Saturday. Justin Holbrook.
And a big thank you to Fred Doan and Tracy Neville. Okay, it's now time to announce the 2019 Telegraph Woman of Steel. And to present this award in only its 2nd year, please welcome Fiona Thomas from the Telegraph. Fiona, as part of the Telegraph support with women in sport this year, I understand you've been to a number of sporting events. How has Women's Rugby League stood out for you?
I think Women's Rugby League as a sport in general, it's come on massively this season, especially with the Betfred sponsoring, which has come on board recently. And of course, with the World Cup in 2021, I think the game is only going to get bigger from here, really. I was lucky enough to interview all 3 nominees for the award tonight. And I remember chatting to Kelsey, was one of them, in a Cafe Nero in Leeds. And she was just so excited to tell me that later this month, when the England girls go out to Sydney for the World Cup 9s, they're actually getting paid. And that's a massive first for women in sport.
Absolutely. It really is, yep.
We see the highlight reels here tonight featuring a lot of guys, but let me tell you one thing. It's a matter of time when Women's Rugby League is going to go professional. These girls, we won't have the Georgia Roaches being baristas in the coffee shops. We won't have Kelsey working down a local co-op, because that's what she does. And when I called up Emily the other day, Emily Rudge, it was on her lunch break. She's a full-time PE teacher. Yeah. And in years to come, we're not going to have that. We're going to have the game professional.
Absolutely, yeah. Fiona, would you like to read the nominees for the 2019 Telegraph Woman of Steel?
Sure. We have Kelsey Gentles from Cass Tigers, Courtney Hill from Leeds Rhinos, and Emily Rudge from St Helens.
And the 2019 Telegraph Woman of Steel is...
You need an unbelievable resilience, you need a desire, it's consistency week in, week out, and it's having a major bearing and impact on your team.
Calm and composed, she's one of those girls that you know will do her extras throughout the week, so she's always going to be accountable for whatever she does, whether that's on the pitch, off the pitch.
The presence she brings and her attitude, first and foremost, is just outstanding, and has been one that was very much needed.
She's kind, she's thoughtful, she's a good laugh. Like I say, she's hard-working, and you just know that as a friend she'd always have your back.
So I noticed on social media that they were having trials, and I sort of looked at it and thought,
I reckon I might give this a shot. One of them goes to her, so where have you played rugby then? And then she just looked at me and she went, nah mate, I don't play rugby, I play cricket.
Plays cricket? I said, has she played any rugby league? He said, she played a bit of AFL. I'm like, yeah, but rugby league, Joel. Has she played any rugby league? And then we went back and forth until I just said, you know what, bring her in. And so she's come in and, you know, Courtney, from that day to now, has just brought the most professional attitude and presence to the team. And it's such a blessing having her.
You know, it's lovely to be recognised in the top 3. Something probably 18 months when I started playing rugby league, I wouldn't have thought that was a possibility, or I think it, you know, just cements my ideas of encourage myself to go and do crazy things.
The Challenge Cup final against Castleford Tigers, it was a rain-soaked afternoon at Bolton, but Courtney Hill was outstanding.
She probably won't even take it as a personal award, that's the kind of person she is.
The funny thing is that the moment it got announced at training, she stopped everyone, we were on a circle, and she thanked each and every one of the players for putting her in a position. So she is a very humble person.
You know, it's an individual nomination, but I certainly take that nomination as a team nomination, because there's so much that I have to thank other people for getting me to that point.
But the competitor, you know, wants to win at all costs, so you know, it'll mean the world to her if she wins it.
I hate it. I hate losing. You know, when you get asked that question though of, you know, I always say I love winning. People say, well, do you love winning? Do you hate losing? Yeah, I hate losing, but gee whiz, I love winning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Courtney Hill. From the Big Bash to the big stage, you are the 2019 Telegraph Woman of Steel.
Wow, that's a big trophy for a little girl, eh? Yeah, what a journey. Like I said, 18 months ago, I decided to pull a different kind of boots on. It was time for a brand new start in my life. You know, coming from Australia, a sport like cricket, and if I rewind 18 months, I actually had a moment at the kitchen sink where I was doing the dishes and life had changed. I was on the other side of the world. I didn't have, you know, my family, my friends, etc. around me. I didn't have cricket. I stood at the sink and I did the whole, it's embarrassing now, but I did the whole Hollywood. I'm going to slide down and sit on the kitchen floor and bawl my eyes out. And my fiance Loz literally sat with me on the floor and picked me up and she said, Courtney, it's going to be okay. You've had one training session with the Leeds Rhinos. You'll find your feet again. And yeah, I feel like I certainly have with the Rhinos.
I think you might have. Yeah. I spoke to your coach, Adam Cuthbertson, yesterday, and he said to me, the day Corker decided to hang up whatever it is that cricketers hang up when they retire, the Leeds Rhinos were extremely blessed. They are the words of your coach. I mean, you've spoken so many times about leaving a legacy behind. How is this award going to help you do that?
Oh, look, I think we're doing some really great things at the Rhinos, and thanks, Cuthbo, for those words. But I think the biggest legacy we can leave, and I mentioned it in the video there, 55 kilos ringing wet. People call me crazy to come play this crazy sport, where sometimes it's very physically unforgiving. But just to encourage people, regardless of what it is, you know, go and do crazy things. People call you crazy, it's the best compliment you can be given. And I suppose that's all I want to do is, you know, keep encouraging the girls, you know, who we're playing with and alongside or against, and the young boys and girls, you know. If if they're thinking about playing rugby league, then go and do it.
Yeah. You have such an inspirational story. Can you just tell people about your story? Why Leeds? Why rugby league?
So I suppose I grew up in country Queensland, sort of a heartland of rugby league back home. I played up until the age of 12, and then the whole can't play with the boys scenario came along. So cricket kind of took over. I found myself in love and at Leeds, so we have Lauren to thank for that. And I suppose, like I said, it was time for a change, time for a change away from cricket. And I'd always loved the game, you know, I was always a mad, passionate fan. And again, it was, okay, what do I go back to cricket or do I go and do something crazy?
Well, we're glad you did something crazy.
Yeah, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 Telegraph Woman of Steel. Thank you. A big thanks to Fiona from the Telegraph as well. And now, to the final award that we have all been waiting for, the 2019 Steve Prescott MBE Man of Steel.
After three, will you all shout out who you think is going to win it tonight? 1, 2, 3. I think it's going to be close. To present the award, please all welcome back onto the stage Ellery Hanley, Fred Doan, and Lindsay and Taylor and Colby Prescott. Lindsay, just a quick word, if that's all right. I mean, it's hard to put into words this, but in terms of the legacy, the name, and within the community of rugby league, there must be a lot of pride tonight at award ceremonies like this.
Yeah, most definitely. I think I've said on many occasions that it's a real honour and to have Stephen's name linked to the most prestigious individual accolade of the game, and I think it's really fitting. And with the new revamped way that the Man of Steel has been done this year, it means that Stephen's name has been mentioned week in, week out on the social media. So for me and the boys, the legacy in that respect is just fantastic, and I can't thank the RFL enough for that.
Taylor, Colby looking very smart this evening. You like being in a suit, Colby? Are you comfortable in that suit? You like wearing a suit?
Not really.
No. Taylor, a lot of it, the foundation, the charity, a lot of it's challenge-based as well, and you recently took on a bike ride yourself, didn't you? Can you tell us a bit about that?
We did a 900-mile bike ride, a 26-mile dragon boat, and a half marathon.
Just a throwaway line, yeah, just did this.
That's what we do. Thank you for being here tonight for this. It's a big moment for everyone here, I think. I think it's time to do it. It's the moment we've been waiting for. It is the Betfred Super League Man of Steel Award winner.
He's very self-critical, he knows when he should have done something better, and he's kind of forced to put his hand up and say, no, I should have done something better, I should have been better at that.
He's very humble, and he's saying how good the Salford fans have been to him, and he wants to finish off the season, and that's all they want to see.
He's a very good player, his performances have been outstanding.
He's a good attacking player. If you give him a sniff, he'll exploit that.
He controls the games very well. He's your typical halfback. I think he can do it all.
It'd be the biggest achievement of my life. To know where I was at just before this stage last year, before coming over, to know that what I've had to do to overcome it, to move on the other side of the world, and to be what I've been through, to be able to walk up on that stage and to receive that would be, it'd be up there with one of the best days of my life.
He's one of them that's a competitor and he wants to win, and they're the kind of players he wants to play with.
He's a winner by nature, and he doesn't want people to stand in his way.
You can see that he's, he likes to take the line on.
I didn't know much about him before he came over, but in my opinion, he's the best player that I've played against this year. Yeah.
The Man of Steel wouldn't be just for me, it wouldn't just be Jackson Hastings. You know, there's so many people that have played such a big role into me even getting my name tossed up in contention for that. It's not just me, it's for all of us. I get goosebumps actually talking about it because of how much it means to me, so yeah, it'd be pretty special.
Gives it back to Makinson. Great defence. Wonderful defence by Jackson Hastings.
Judson to Evalds, it reaches Jackson Hastings now. And if this Salford are good enough to be in the top five,
surely will be. Hastings still going.
Approaching. Salford keeping this next season, Jake Bibby. Here is Jackson Hastings. Likewise, a cherry and white flare. And Hastings has left it to last to show his class.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 Steve Prescott MBE Man of Steel.
What's going on there is the best team talk you've ever heard in your life, ladies and gents. We'll just get a quick word with Jackson when he's got the trophy in his hands there. Jackson. You are the Steve Prescott Man of Steel 2019. How does that sound?
No, it's an honour. Yeah, I was obviously sitting up there with my mum and had real sweaty hands, and she grabbed me when she saw me come up. And as I touched on in the video, it's obviously the greatest achievement that I've ever had in my career, probably in my life. From where I was about 16 months ago, everyone's heard the story a million times, I won't go on about it, but I literally thought I wasn't going to play again at a professional level. I thought I was going to have to get a job, and which isn't a bad thing, I guess, but I'd much rather play rugby league. I've dedicated my whole life to it. It's a great equaliser, rugby league. I soon found out that it can be taken away from you quicker than you're given it, and I probably didn't respect it or appreciate it as much as what I should have. And I quickly found out that it's easy to get rid of someone. I was sitting on my couch watching guys my age do things that I really wanted to do, and obviously I was sitting at home pretty much jobless, waiting until 6 o'clock to go an hour and a half out west and go train. And without my coach there, Stephen Hales, my reserve grade coach at Blacktown, he really lit that fire for me to want to be the best I can. And then obviously without the two Ians up there, I wouldn't be here with the trophy. Bleezy's probably more than just a CEO to me. Obviously his wife Sally and his daughter Ava have become family. Ava makes me cupcakes once a week, and
healthy ones, obviously.
Yeah, healthy. Sally cooks me dinner once a week as well, probably, and then my housemate Joey. Without him, I'd be lost. He does all the washing, all the cooking.
What a roomie.
All the cleaning. And his performances this year have been unbelievable too, and that's half the reason why we are where we are.
Jackson, It's amazing to have seen you change over the last 6 months or a year. Your family are here this week. They're ready for a big game on Saturday. They've been so proud. You've won so many awards over the last couple of weeks. For a young man to come over here, completely change his life, I'm sure that was challenging, but you seem to have found a little bit of strength through the game that we all love.
Yeah, obviously having Watto, Bleasy, and then as I touched on Joey here with me the whole way, it's made it a lot easier. Mum's probably still in tears up there. She's probably not even watching, but have to communicate with her. Obviously, tell her how I went on the weekend because not many games are televised, and I'm trying to FaceTime her and tell her exactly what happened. I'm trying to get videos off Watto every day to send back to her to show her what actually happened in the game, to tell her that I wasn't lying and things like that. But without my mum and obviously my 2 little sisters and my granddad there, we're just missing one more. Nana, obviously, that would be looking down on me very proud right now. Without the 5 of them, I don't know what I'd be doing. Mum obviously had to work full time, and Granddad and Nan were sort of like my co-parents in a way. They took me to all my long haul training sessions when I had to go to Wagga Wagga, like a 5-hour drive, or Granddad drove his RV down to Melbourne to watch me play touch footy, and he's flown over the other side of the world on his own 3 or 4 times just to watch me play a couple of games too. So without those 5, I wouldn't be where I am, and they know how much I love them and how much this means to me.
And Jackson, what a season it has been for Salford. You're through to your first major final in over 40 years, and you are the only Salford player to ever hold that trophy.
Yeah, it's special. Obviously, you can hear them up there. They're very proud and passionate, and they've supported me every step of the way, which I'm very thankful for, so thank you very much. There's a lot more than just the 17 that take the field every week. We've got a squad of 30 that have helped me become a better player too. We've got our 2 captains up there, Lee Mossop and Mark Flanagan, who are probably the 2 most influential. Obviously, Moose is more actions than words, but when he talks, everyone listens. And Flash is very similar. They're very direct with their approach. They're the ultimate professionals, and they lead by example, and you want to play for them too. Obviously, our backroom staff, Sarah, Rob, and Beth, for keeping me on the field. You do an excellent job, guys. GB sitting up there, obviously our strength and conditioner, keeping us all fit and that. Obviously, I've mentioned the 2 Wattos. Ian, sorry, there's only 1 Watto. But the whole club as a whole, this is for us, as I said in that video. It's not just my award, it's for the whole team and everyone that's had an involvement in it.
And Jackson, 1 more game in the jersey.
Yeah, I don't really want to think about it just yet. I've got to...
You better start thinking about it.
I've got a whole week to sort of prepare for it. But whatever happens on Saturday will happen, and we're going to turn up and give it our best shot. We're playing against the best team in the comp by a mile, obviously. Justin's done a great job, and yeah, we're going to, as I said, we're going to throw the kitchen sink and see what we can do. But obviously, congrats to all the other award winners tonight and everyone else that got nominated. Without you guys competing against each other week in, week out, no one will win this award. So once again, thanks to all the boys that I played against and all the other teams as well.
A big thank you to our presentation party tonight for Man of Steel. Ladies and gents, your Betfred Super League Man of Steel 2019, Jackson Hastings. I think there's going to be a fair bit of this going on for the rest of the night. Everyone will want to get their shot. To reiterate Jackson's words, a big thank you to all our presenters this evening. Once again, can you put your hands together for our nominees and our winners this evening?
And thank you for your company. What a season it has been in the Betfred Super League. Just 1 game to go. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.